So the next website I want to show you is called Quizizz. It is similar to Kahoot in that it's a multiple choice online game, but it is played much differently than Kahoot. Uh, in Kahoot, the questions and the answer choices are projected up onto a whiteboard or a smart board, and the students move through a Kahoot one question at a time. They're all answering the same question at the same time. Quizizz is set up differently. The students actually have the questions along with their answer choices on their device, and the only thing that is projected is the results of how they're doing on the quizzes, which is something that doesn't actually have to be projected if you don't want it to be. Additionally, you can set up a Quizizz so that it will scramble the questions so that not every student is on the same question at the same time. And this allows for the students to move through the questions at their own pace rather than having to wait for every single student in the class to finish that question before moving on to the next one. Okay, so to get started with Quizizz, again, the first thing we need to do is go to their website. It's quizizz.com. And again, it's a free website, so all you need to do is sign up and create an account if you don't already have one, or once you do have one, then it's just a matter of logging. When you get logged into your Quizizz account, it is very similar in nature to the way that Kahoot looks. You have an option of searching through public quizzes that other people have already done, or you can create your own from scratch. Your menu is down the side rather than going across the top, but it's a very similar menu where you have a search bar here, here, or here, and then you also have a menu of ones that you either created yourself or duplicated and saved for your use so that you don't have to keep going back and searching. So let's say that we wanted to search for one on punctuation. Okay. When you do your search, it's again going to bring up anything that's related to punctuation. It's going to sort by the most relevant or for what you put in for your search bar, and it's going to filter it. We can select a filter to single out just elementary grades. This is a little bit different, whereas Kahoot, you can filter by individual grades. In Quizizz, it's just by the grade bands, elementary, middle, or high. Okay. When you look on the actual overview of the different quizzes, though, it will tell you a recommended grade range. This is the person that created it. This was their intended audience. So if you know for a fact that you're not looking for something for 5th to 7th graders, you don't need to bother looking at this one. Okay? So if we're going for a younger grades, this one says 1st to 4th. We can try looking at that one. Okay, so you click on it to bring it up. Here are your questions. There's 20 questions. Here's where it tells you how much time per question. It looks like they're given the stem and then they need to finish it off with the correct punctuation mark. If you wanted to see what the creator put down for their correct answer choices, you can click on Show Answers, and that'll tell you the one in green is the one that they're saying is correct. Okay. So let's say that you wanted to play this one just as it is. You went through it. There's nothing wrong with it. You like everything about it. You could just click on Play Live, okay? And then it's going to give you the options where you can shuffle the questions, shuffle the answers. Those are set to on for default. It'll show the answers after the question, and then it'll also show the quiz review. So at the end, you'll see all of the questions that they got right and that they got wrong. Okay, and that's for what the students can see. There is the question timer down here where you get more points for faster answers. So if you're not wanting them to rush to try to get it as fast as they can, you're more worried about accuracy than speed, you can turn that one off. You can turn off the fact that they show the leaderboard if you're not wanting them to be too worried about how they're doing in comparison to their classmates. This one is interesting. This is what makes it kind of a unique system. It shows memes. So at the end of every question, whether they get it right or they wrong, there's a funny little meme that'll pop up that the kids usually like. And then it also has the option rather to play music during the Kahoot, during the quiz, which you can turn that off if you want as well. Okay. So let's go back to the previous screen. The other feature that's different than Kahoot, as it is right now, is the ability that you can assign this to be done as homework or as a station in your centers that can be completed at a later time. When you click on homework, it's going to ask you to select a completion date. You can change that to whenever you want it to be done by, and then it'll give you the same options, and you can then click on proceed. It'll give you a PIN number similar to the way that a Kahoot game starts. You just have to share that PIN number with the students, and they can do it on their own when they have time or when they rotate through a center. The difference between that and a Kahoot has something called a challenge, which is similar in nature. It sets up a due date, but it has to be done through their app, and it will not work through their website. So unless you can get the app onto a laptop, then you cannot do Kahoot as homework. Now, if you have iPads, or if the students have phones or iPods at home that they want to do, then you can do that through Kahoot. But the nice thing about Quizizz is that it'll work through their website just like it would through their app. Okay, so if you go through the quiz and there's something that you want to change, right now you don't have the right to edit it. So first you have to duplicate it. Okay, when it duplicates it, now it gives you the option to edit. All right, so once you go into edit, okay, here are your questions. This is where you can change the time. Quizizz also has quite a bit more options for maximum time for the question. And then it also has some other features on the questions themselves. So if you click on the question itself, one difference is that you can have up to 5 answer choices possible rather than just 4. Okay? And in addition to having, you could have your text answer, you can also import a picture instead. So let's say, not for this particular quiz, but let's say you weren't doing one on different kinds of charts or graphs, you could take pictures or screenshots of different types of graphs, put them in as your answer, right, by just uploading them or dragging them over, and then the students would have to choose from the different pictures rather than from text. That is an additional feature that Quizizz does offer. Okay, so when you get done editing anything that you want to edit, you're going to go ahead and click on Finish Quiz. It's going to save it, and now it's going to be in under your My Quizzes. Here's the one we just did. Okay, so that's where it would be the next time you would log in. So that, let's say you were getting this ready the night before or the day before, and you wanted to come in the next day and play it. You would log into your account, you would go to My Quizzes, here's where it is, you would click on it, and then you would either play live or assign it as homework. If you play live, again, you have these different options. I'm going to turn the music off just because I prefer to have the music off, and then you would just click on proceed. So at this point, this is the screen that you're going to see on your computer, and then it's going to tell you that the students need to go to this address and type in code. So I'm going to pretend that this is a student device over here so you can kind of see what it looks like. So it's join.quizizz.com. Okay, it's going to ask for the code. The code is 793639. Okay, once you add in your name, and you can see that again, it's going to be over here stating that I'm ready to go. And when you get everybody in, then you're going to start the game by clicking on start. Okay, so here is the thing. Which of these would I choose? If I choose the exclamation point, okay, it's going to give me that. Tells me where I'm at. Hey, my name is Lucy. That's probably going to be a period. Okay. Question mark, points. Okay. Gives you that little meme they kind of like every so often. And then over on this side, it'll show how many questions that students are getting right versus how many that they're getting wrong. So for example, if I get that one wrong, it immediately shows up I got that one wrong. Okay. But then it goes on to the next question. All right. Again, when all the questions or when all the students are done, you can click on End Game, and then it'll give you the results. Right? And again, now it gives you some options for reporting, where very similar to the Kahoot reports, where you can look at overviews or individual questions, or you can look at this one was not tagged with standards, but if it was, then you could do it that way as well. Okay. All right. So that is what a Quizizz game looks like. Okay. The only thing that I have found to be a little problematic with Quizizz is that because students are playing at their own speed and their own pace, the leaderboard will not be accurate until everyone is done with the quiz. So some students you'll find that finish early may be in first place when they finish, but may not be in first place as other students finish. They may get bumped out. That is the only thing that I have found to be slightly problematic, and really it's not that big of a deal if you let the kids know ahead of time that it could happen. But again, you can also just turn off that scoreboard before you assign the quiz and avoid that problem altogether. So hopefully you found this one helpful as well. And in the next video, we're going to take a look at how to create a Quizizz from scratch.